Welcome to Big Money Sales Moves, the podcast for powerhouse coaches, consultants, and entrepreneurs who are ready to scale with confidence and consistent cash flow. I'm your host, Karissa Atkins, speaker, author, and creator of the $1 Million Sales Matrix. Here is where we break through the industry lies that keep women overworked and underpaid. Say goodbye to bro tactics and burnout, and hello to alpha queen strategies. Sales, premium client attraction, and CEO-level leadership that makes scaling simpler, faster, and more profitable. If you're ready to step into your $1 Million era and make your next big money move, you're in the right place. Let's dive in. Hello, hello, hello. What's up, ladies? How are you, beautiful queens? Today, I want to talk about confidence. Because without confidence, your business, your brand, your bank account, and maybe even your relationships will never grow. So confidence is the difference between a coach who wishes, hopes, and prays someone's going to buy from them to the leader, the CEO who knows people are lucky to work with her, right? And here's the truth. Confidence isn't something you're necessarily born with. It's something you build. It's a skill set. And I like to think that I have mastered this skill set. So today, I'm not only going to talk about the importance of confidence in our business and in our lives, but I'm also going to show you how to build confidence. So I'm finding that a lot of women, right, we're confident in certain areas of our life and then not confident in another, right? We can be confident when we're on a coaching call with our clients because, hey, we're in our realm. But when we're on a sales call, we kind of shrink and play small. Or maybe you're really confident in your relationships and around your friends, but if I put you on stage in front of 5,000 people, you would like start to shrink, right? You'd be like, ah, right? We start to lose that sense of self-trust and self-confidence within ourselves. So I just want you to kind of realize that no matter who you are, no matter how much success that you've built for yourself or that other women have built for themselves, there's some part of us typically that we feel that we lack a little bit of confidence in, right? And yeah, we're going to talk about that today. And I think that that's kind of true. I mean, and let me know, send me a DM if you feel like, you know, that I'm really speaking to you. You're like, yeah, I'm so confident over here, but gosh, if you put me in this situation, I'm not very confident. Right? There's so many examples I could give you. Back when I was overweight and depressed and stressed, you know, a lot of people looked at me and they're like, oh my God, you're a really confident girl, right? You're a really confident person. But on the inside, I didn't feel confident. And I sure as shit did not feel confident in the bedroom. I mean, I thought I was so fat, right, and ugly, and I was disgusted with myself. Every time I looked in the mirror, I would talk so much shit to myself, right? Like, I'm ugly, who's gonna love me, like all of these things. And that negative self-talk, remember we talked about that in another episode? That negative self-talk, I started to believe it. Therefore, I started losing confidence in myself in the bedroom around my friends. I always, you know, felt like out of the group of ladies that I hung out with, that I was always the larger one. And I started to not feel confident in who I was. Yet, if you asked everyone around me who's the most confident, they would have probably honestly said Karissa, right? So yeah, I think confidence is a skill and it can be created. Okay, it can be worked on, it can be honed, it can be mastered. So welcome back to the Big Money Sales Moves. This is the show for women who are done freaking playing small. They're done flirting with potential and average and mediocre, and they are truly ready to step into their most juiciest, epic, fierce, and fabulous life. Right? So welcome to the show. I'm your girl, Karissa. I'm a no bullshit kind of coach, business mastery coach, mindset junkie, right? And I'm the creator of the $1 Million. The expert, of course, the experts and the matrix, you pair my expertise and then actual training. And oh gosh, we see women skyrocketing in their businesses. So it's really, really, really cool. Anyways, okay, so I want to talk really quickly about, I want to kind of move our discussion into judgment. And I want to give you a little tool or a resource that I used for many, many years, even when I was younger. Okay. So I want to talk about judgment. and the tool that I call fuck it. Now we know Mel Robbins has an amazing tool right now that literally says let them, right? So her, if you haven't read the book, guys, go freaking watch it. I'm like Mel Robbins' biggest fan. I've loved her ever since I read the 5 Second Rule book. That book alone literally helped me rip the band-aid off, leave my corporate gig to pursue my passion as a coach and speaker. Like literally, I read the book and I was like, okay, it's time, right? And I didn't have some fucking cushy savings account ready to rock and roll for me. Like I just had my confidence and then her 5 second rule that literally was like, okay, let's do it, right? So I love Mel Robbins. I read the book. I actually read it in like 3 days. It was probably one of the fastest books I read in the last 6 months because the average book takes me like 30 days to read. But yeah, I was like done in a weekend. I was like, this is brilliant. And it's something that I used to do all of the time before I had a lot of confidence in myself. And Mel Robbins' book is Let Them and then Let Me, right? My thing that I said when I was a teenager and when I was in my early 20s was, fuck it, I'm gonna do it anyway. That was like kind of my Mel Robbins let them theory. But it's so true, right? Like it's like, fuck it, and it gives me permission. So, anyways, I'm gonna kind of dive into that. So, I'm just gonna say right now, I know what it feels like to be judged. I know what it feels like to be judged hella hard. Okay. Women would judge me when I was 213 pounds, right? So many people, you could just feel their eyes looking at me, probably with disgust. And if not, then that was my own self paranoia. But, like I felt like I was being judged all the time when I was overweight. People would judge me when I was a smoker. I smoked ever since I was 12 years old. Yes, I know. I was a minor, breaking the law, but I was a total rebel and I kind of still am, but whatever. Shh, we won't tell anyone. But yeah, I was smoking since I was 12. People judged me. I was judged big time when I told my sophomore class that I was pregnant and that I was going to have a baby. I got judged really hard for dropping out of high school as an early junior. And in my corporate career, I got judged a lot for how I looked, right? For how successful I looked, or the tattoos that I had, or the way I spoke, right? So real, so raw, so unauthentic, like so authentically. I've been judged for all of the not so great moments of my life. On the opposite side, now that I'm on like the other side, I guess what? I've been judged too, right? People will literally they judged me when I sold my car and motorcycle and bought my Audi, right? People judged me when I was celebrating all the money that I was making. People judged me when I would speak on stage and say fuck it, right? Like or shit or whatever, right? Like people judged me. And they've judged my confidence in my own self. But thank God I built so much confidence in me, right? Because the average woman who has been judged in all phases and all forms, right? I've literally even had people send me DMs and they're like, I can't believe you said this, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, bye, Felicia. If what I talk about and post about on my social channels offends you, you can leave, right? Like nobody's holding you hostage to being my connection on LinkedIn or Facebook. Like, nor do I really care that it's triggering you. In fact, if it's triggering you, you probably should work with me, right? Because if something's triggering you, ladies, there's something going on deeper than what's actually at the surface level. I've even had someone, oh my gosh, I'm just going to kind of go into a tangent here a little bit. I was speaking at an event and there was about 350 people in this particular room. And I'm literally sharing my weight loss journey story with them, right? And I used to call myself fat and ugly. And like, this was my own story. I wasn't calling anybody else fat or ugly. Like, I was just sharing my story. This is how I felt when I was 213 pounds, stressed and depressed. Okay. So I was sharing this story and I get done with my keynote. It's like a 27-minute keynote. And I open it up for questions. The very first person to stand up literally was a woman. And she started hating on my keynote. She's like, I just want you to know we don't appreciate, right? You talking bad about yourself and blah, blah, blah. Like we're a generation that we, don't like to hear those things. And I'm like, wait, what? This was my story. Like I'm obviously don't feel like that now. Like you missed the whole point. But either way, guys, I've been shamed and judged publicly in front of hundreds of people. Okay. So I know what it is like. Okay. So thank goodness I built so much confidence because otherwise that would have shaken me to the core. I would have probably never wanted to speak on stage again. I would have probably never wanted to do my first, like another Facebook Live again if someone was judging and I actually cared, right? So many women, it's a huge problem. So many women literally give way too many fucks to everybody else. I'm like, how about the only opinion you actually need to consider is yourself, right? Like you need to actually take yourself seriously. So yeah, anyways, okay, sorry. Totally got off on a little tangent, but you know me. Yeah, I'm not sorry, but not sorry. Okay. Okay, so thank goodness I had confidence in myself, right? So it was about 7 years ago when I realized that people are gonna judge me for being unhealthy, a young mom, smoker, high school dropout, and people are judging me for being wildly successful. Okay. And then it hit me that day. I was like, wow, people are going to judge me no matter what I do. So I naturally said, fuck it, I'm going to do it anyway. And that became my mantra. And if it makes me happy, right? If I want to do something and I know it's going to make me happy and I know it aligns with my vision and if it supports my dreams, I literally will say it so many times in my head, fuck it, I'm going to do it anyway. It became that mantra for years and years and years until I truly didn't need it anymore. I kind of outgrew it because when I would say it, it was kind of like me giving myself permission to be me. Where now I fully own who I am. I don't care what people think of me. And I'm just so real, raw, and authentic. And that alone literally attracts clients into my life. Like that energy of just like, wow, she's real, she's raw, she's a badass. I kind of want to be like that, right? So, and then people like literally come and work with me and pay me hundreds of thousands of dollars. So, again, I want you to stop giving so many shits away to everybody else. Okay. Their opinions of you have no, like, you don't have any business listening to them because they're going to do it anyway, whether you're successful or whether you're not. Okay. So, yeah, that's what confidence is, right? Confidence isn't arrogance, although we all know people that are like overly confident and super arrogant and they lead with ego. I feel like I don't, right? Like I feel like I dropped the arrogance, I dropped the ego many, many years ago. And when I think of confidence and who I am, I think it's just really radical self-trust and unapologetic and authenticity. And that's really hard to come by these days. Okay, so that's kind of my little two bits on judgment. Okay, so now let's talk about confidence. Now, last week I talked about how energy is currency in our business. Well, that is true. And I also believe that confidence is currency. It's what people feel from you before they ever even buy from you. It's that silent energy that makes someone say, wow, I want to do that. She inspires me, right? And here's the thing, ladies, confidence isn't about being the loudest or the most perfect looking person in the room. It's about being real. Confidence is when the inside voice finally matches the outside presence. Because remember, everyone looks at me and they're like, oh my God, you're such a confident woman. And I'm like, they've literally been telling me that ever since I was like 8 years old as a gymnast. Like, oh, that little Karissa, she's got so much confidence. She's awesome. She's going places. And there were plenty of times in my life that I didn't feel confident. So, that was the internal game that I had to work on. Like the outside saw a different version of Karissa. And until I truly believed it to be true on the inside, it would probably still be true. I probably wouldn't have the confidence, but I have worked on my stuff. Okay, I've worked on my stuff. I've healed my past, and I truly believe in myself. So, how to build confidence, right? That's typically the next question that I get quite often. And sometimes I've spoken on stages around confidence because I truly believe that confidence is what sets me apart from so many others. I've stood on stages with some of the most powerful women in the world, and they have come up to me and they're like, wow, right? Your confidence is amazing. I've been on stages all over the world, and the difference, like if I gave you one keynote and then I gave the exact same keynote to a different woman and I said, here, you read my keynote, I'll read my keynote. I bet I sell more packages or more offers or I get more leads than you do. And again, it's not arrogance or cockiness. It's just like I have so much confidence and energy in myself and who I am that naturally I pull people in. Oh my goodness. Okay, I could keep going, but how to build confidence. I'm really on fire today, so I gotta stick to my bullet point list here because I really want to talk about how to build confidence, right? I want you leaving today's episode saying, okay, I know how to now build confidence. Now I have to do it myself, right? Like you have to actually go and put in the reps. So there are three main ways that I teach my clients how to build lasting confidence, whether they know I'm teaching them or not. That's, I think, what makes me a really great coach too, is that I don't literally have to be like step one, step two, step three, right? I empower them to make great decisions to remind them that they are a confident woman. But anyways, here are three steps or strategies to help you build real lasting confidence. Number one is you've got to start keeping promises to yourself, right? So confidence grows through self-integrity. Every time you keep a promise to yourself, whether it's a big promise or a small promise, your subconscious mind learns something. It literally says she's going to do this, she does it. Cool, right? That builds self-trust in ourselves. And self-trust builds confidence. So if you've said you'd post today, right? Like maybe you told your audience that you were going to post something on social media today or that you were going to email out, maybe they joined your newsletter and you said, okay, welcome to the newsletter. What you can expect is a weekly email from me, blah, blah, blah. And then you don't do it. You feel terrible and they lose trust, right? Because you're like, oh, it becomes those like shoulds. And guys, we got to put our shoulds where we should. So those shoulds, because you know you should be doing something and then you don't do it, that's breaking a promise to yourself and it's breaking the promises to your audience. And then that's losing trust. Okay. So if you say you're going to do something, do it. If you're going to follow up with a lead, do it. If you said you're going to go to the gym, do it. If you said you're going to, commit to your relationship and make sure that you go on your weekly date nights with your partner, do it, right? That literally, that you doing the action, you keeping the promise to yourself builds confidence within, okay? Your brain doesn't care about perfection. It craves consistency. Remember, repetition. That's how we change. That's how we change a behavior, a habit, anything, right? Repetition, repetition, repetition. So the more promises you can keep to yourself, the better and more confident you will feel. And it doesn't even have to be business related, guys. Like I said, if you say you're going to go to the gym every day this week, go to the gym. If you say you're going to read this book by the end of the month, read the book. It doesn't have to be anything crazy, but please, for the love of God, start keeping promises to yourself. Okay. The second way to build confidence, and again, you don't have to do all of these things, just pick one and run with it. But the second thing that has really allowed me to build so much confidence in myself is that I do things that scare me. And I do things that scare me almost every day. So confidence definitely doesn't come from comfort, right? Our brains are wired for comfort, even if it's not good for us, right? So every time we do something that's a little scary, that makes us a little nervous, that's like, I don't know if I should do this. And then you do it, oh, you start to feel a little confident in yourself, right? And, I feel that when we do these little things, it actually creates courage, right? When we do these courageous action steps, when we take little courageous action, we create confidence within ourselves. So every day I do try and challenge myself to do one thing that really stretches me. Maybe it's a going live, maybe it's reaching out to 10 new people on Instagram. Maybe it's, saying a higher price without hesitation when someone says, what's your offer like? Maybe it's a stage that you've never spoken on. I'm literally just got done speaking at a stage. It's called the top 100 most powerful women, and it was in Hollywood. I had so much fun. I'll have to tell you about that on another episode. But ladies, this keynote, right? This TEDx style keynote, it was broadcasted to hundreds of thousands of homes. It was plastered all over Binge TV, right? The Binge TV network picked it up. We had 200 plus women in the room, and there were celebrities. It was in Hollywood, right? So all these amazing celebrities were like watching me. And, a non-confident Carissa would have probably been like, I'm not quite ready for that stage yet. But the confident Carissa says, I may not be ready, but fuck it, I'm gonna do it anyway, right? So I just literally put myself out in those moments where I'm like, right? Because that courageous action, it really does build confidence. Another fun little quirky story around this particular way that builds confidence is I moved to the UK a couple years ago. If you didn't know this about me, my husband's active duty. We're stationed here in the UK. And over in the UK, they drive on the other side of the road, and the car's steering wheel are on the other side of the car. Okay. So maybe you didn't know that, or you did. Either way, I was nervous to drive over here, as you can imagine, right? I've never lived in a country that had to drive on the other side. In fact, I think the UK is the only one that does. But anyway, I get here and I not only have to learn international rules and have to get my international driver's license. So I'm like, right? But I had to learn how to drive on the other side of the road with a car with a steering wheel on the other side. That was difficult. Okay. But after about a month, I got the hang of it. And then I started to feel good. But the real thing that I want to tell you is when my car got shipped here. I told you, my Audi is my baby. It's what really truly helped me step into this seven-figure identity many, many years ago. So, yes, I shipped my American car to the UK. And I remember when I got, when the car came and my husband picked it up for me, and it was just beautiful. He went and got a car wash. It was like beautiful, right? Sitting in the driveway. And I was like, oh my God, I don't want to get in my car because, like, what if I wreck it? And like, right, all of the things. And I sat there with my hands on the steering wheel for a while when I needed to go somewhere. I was like, you're just going to do it, Carissa. You're going to say, fuck it, and you're going to do it. And I did it. And guess what? After like 5 minutes of driving on the other side of the road, now on my normal side, I felt so confident. Like my win that day was truly like, oh, I feel amazing. I did something that scared the shit out of me. So I know that's a super funny story, and but I just want you to know that there are times that I don't feel confident. But then I remind myself, fuck it, you're going to do it anyway, Carissa, because this is how you grow, right? So I truly step into fear and take courageous action, and that builds confidence. Okay. The third and final tip to help you build confidence is what I call authenticity over approval. The fastest way to lose confidence is to chase approval from others. And so many women are chasing validation and approval to try and fit in, and they're just losing confidence within themselves. This is the fastest way to build it, right? To build confidence is to just be you, to choose authenticity over approval. Okay. So you will never, ever, ever be everybody's cup of tea. And that's the point. God made us all so beautiful, so unique, and so, different. I don't want 10 Carissas in my life. I want the Sarahs. I want the Larissas. I want the Samanthas, the Leannes, the Jennifers. I want to find connections and build relationships with real women. I don't want them to be like me. Do I want to encourage them to embrace the characteristics of Carissa? Sure, right? It's the Alpha Queen way. But when you think about it, it's discipline, it's consistency. Like these are all the characteristics of a woman who is highly successful. So of course I teach them those types of things, but I ultimately don't want them to be like me, right? I don't want to create little Carissas everywhere. So I realized a long time ago, and I used to say this, because I don't really, I mean, I drink tea now, but I didn't at the time. I drank tequila. And so I used to say, I'm not everybody's cup of tequila because literally nobody, like half the people that I meet don't like tequila. But a lot of people do too, right? So you not being for everyone, it's okay. You're not here to please everybody. You're here to lead them. Okay, you're here to be you, to be the most authentic version of you. Confidence isn't not necessarily about being liked, it's about being known. Known for standing up for something, known for showing up fully as you. So when everyone is zigging one way, Carissa's over here zagging, and I'm okay with that. I'm okay with that. That's definitely a huge part of my brand. It's like I want women to be themselves. That's why my motto is fuck it, I'm going to do it anyways, right? Mini story about this. It's kind of funny, but like kind of not. So I went to Kenya. I have another company. It's called Warrior Queens Rise. And it's pretty much just a company that me and one of my clients and friends created because we had a dream that we wanted to start going over to third world countries, and we wanted to just pour our hearts, souls, and modalities into these girls. And so we've been there twice now, and this last tour, right? So what we do is we like take 8 to 9 women on a speaking tour, and we go and we literally speak to, last time we spoke to over 20,000 girls from the ages of 8 to 18. And we taught them confidence. We taught them self-esteem. We used our healing modalities to help them from their trauma because they've experienced a lot of stuff, just like any other woman. So we went over there with just pure intention of love and giving, and that was amazing. But this last tour, we had a gal in the tour with us. And I obviously noticed over the last 6 or 7 months, she kind of started embodying my brand. And that's kind of good, right? Like I was like, oh, it's like, oh, that's amazing. Like she wants to be like me. That's so cute, right? Part of me like does love that. But then a part of you is like, girl, get your own brand, right? All of a sudden, the hot pinks were there. She started using the word queen. I think she even started using the word collective, like all of these things. And I was like, oh my gosh, but whatever, right? Like I don't get triggered by those things anymore. And if I do, I again go to my own coach and we work on it. So there we were in Kenya. And this woman, right, she mentioned something, right? She starts to kind of even her talks and keynotes start to kind of blend in like mine. And she mentioned something about wanting to buy a pink suit. I wore a pink suit that one of these days. And literally, she's like, Carissa, where'd you get that from? And I was like, oh, I got it here, right? And she's like, oh my God, I'm gonna go buy it. And I'm like, okay, like whatever. Like, I don't own the pink suit. Like, it's not, I don't have the rights to that. Like, I don't really care. And a lot of women do love pink. But it was kind of funny. We were all sitting around on the last day. We had just gotten done, visiting the Masai Mara. We, hiked and not hiked, but we got to experience the safari tour. Like it was awesome. So the very last day, this woman was sitting around the table with the other speakers. Some of them were my clients, of course. And she started talking about pink and the brand and the suit and the whatever. And one of my clients literally was like, I'm going to be totally honest with you. And she's like, okay. She's like, you need to get your own brand. Right? So like I don't have to do that because like I have amazing women in my life that'll literally be like, girl, get your own brand. But they had to have a heart-to-heart talk with her. And then of course I had to like, I had to be like the mother and kind of settle everyone down. But like yes, a part of me is like, thank you, right? Like thank you. But the other part of me is like, why don't you want to be you? So the coach in me is like, wow, she needs a coach that can support her in finding her brand, finding her message, finding her authenticity, because there's some part of her that doesn't believe that she is worthy enough just as her, right? So I kind of see both sides. The CEO, I saw the coach side, like I saw it all. And I think that this is an important message because this happens a lot, right? I see women all the time embracing and embodying my brand. Like I will literally be reading somebody else's Facebook post and I'm like, that doesn't even sound like her. And I actually know that girl. Like this actually happens a lot to me, guys. And I'm just telling you how it stops you making money in your business. because this is how, right? So you can say this is your brand online, but when someone comes to you and you're on a sales call and they're like, you don't match the brand that I've been seeing, right? They start to connect the dots. They're like, who is this person and who is that person? And then all of a sudden the trust is gone and people don't buy. So you really truly have to be okay with being you. And I know that is scary. I know it is scary, but you got this. You got this. All right. Okay, so if today's episode is hitting home, I want to encourage you to go and download my Rise app. It's a phenomenal app. I've been talking about it for weeks. It's packed with meditations and EFT tappings that are helping women build more confidence in themselves, right? So these meditations, these guided breathwork sessions, these EFT tappings, which stands for emotional freedom technique, right? These are all tools that can help you build confidence, that can help you calm your nerves and help you show up boldly. Okay, so women who are consistently seeing some major shifts in their mindset and in their business are about 30 to 60 days already just into the app, right? They are seeing a difference and they freaking love it. And they're literally sending me DMs all the time saying, oh my gosh, I love this meditation. So I love it, love it, love it. All right. Okay. So I want to talk about some quick confident truth bombs because here's what I know about confidence. It's not a vibe. It's a decision. It's not something you find. You can't go to the store and buy a bottle of confidence. It's something you build. It's not about being fearless all the time. It's about doing things even when there's fear present. You can't wait to feel confident. You act your way into it. Confidence is built through reps. Every sales call, every post, every no, every yes, it's all building proof that you can do hard things. And the more evidence you collect, the more unstoppable you become. So here's the confidence code I live by. This is literally, I read this on a card every single day. I say, I believe in my ability to figure it out. I know I'll make decisions that serve me. I move even when no one is watching. That's the foundation of confidence. Okay. So next time fear or doubt or somebody's opinion of you sneaks into your brain, right? I want you to answer it back with, hey, they can think whatever they want. Fuck it. I'm going to do it anyway. Because real alpha queens don't seek validation. We create impact. And the best way and easiest way to create impact is to just be you. So here's your power move this week. First of all, I want you to keep one small promise to yourself today. If you say you were going to do something, do it. Even if it's the littlest thing possible. Okay. I also want to encourage you this week to do something that scares you just a little bit. Say yes to something that you wouldn't normally say yes to. Okay. And then just a final reminder is that people are going to judge you no matter what. So make it worth judging. All right, ladies, if this episode fired you up inside, download the Rise app so you can start to truly practice that skill of confidence every single day. And if you have any questions, please reach out. I answer all of my DMs, whether it's on Instagram, LinkedIn, or Facebook. And just remember, confidence is the foundation of everything. It's the foundation of sales, leadership, success, happiness, a beautiful relationship. And the beautiful part, it's that it's all learnable. So fuck it. Go out and do the damn thing. All right, ladies, I love you. I believe in you. And I will see you next week on another Big Money Sales Moves show. Bye for now.
That's a wrap for today's episode of Big Money Sales Moves. Say goodbye to hustle and grind and burnout and hello to ethical sales and alpha queen strategies. If you're ready to master high-ticket sales, scale your business, or grow your empire, head on over to www.alphaqueencollective.com and make your next big money move today.